Good evening, everyone. It sounds like it was what did you say, Jamie? The Mondayest of Mondays. So I'm gonna refrain from my usual happy Monday. But if it was a happy Monday for you, happy Monday. If it was not a happy Monday, I'm just glad you are here. And cheers to another day. I'm Mikki. If you've not practiced with me before, we have Shanti up here, kind of in your foreground. She is on her own legitimate doggy yoga mat. She got one for Christmas. It's pretty cute. Musketeers here on mine. And I'm super glad to have you here with our community this evening. We are going to move some of the stagnation, some of the tension, just some of the weight out of our bodies, not like pounds weight, but like heaviness, energetic heaviness weight. Get into hips, get into shoulders, get into neck a little bit tonight. And my intention is not necessarily to kind of let go of the things that you're carrying, because sometimes what we're carrying has a time and a place, but to acknowledge what we're carrying and to create space around it. So that's the practice I'm going to guide and intend tonight. Are you leaving? Front and center. It's Shanti's 5 seconds. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I break off course. Okay, so if you have a couple of blocks, I would go ahead and grab those tonight. If you have a blanket, I would grab that tonight. Let me see who else has said hi. Hi, Debbie. Happy Monday. Glad you're here. And if you're using the playlist, it's posted in the description of the class. It's also in the top of the chat. You can go ahead and press play on that. What I was going to say before Shanti distracted me is that as we move through class tonight, please, please, please just take the options that you need, leave the ones that you don't. No pressure and no stress tonight. We get enough of that elsewhere in life. So just taking what you need. And if that's 60 minutes lying down on your mat, I will happily wake you up in 60 minutes. All right, we are coming down to our backs tonight. Musketeer, you're going to need to scoot. I believe the yoga mat is up for grabs, though, if you want it. And as you come down onto your back this evening, oh, hi, Ethan. So glad you're here. Kendra, yay, you're here too. Really glad. Aw, a bunch of my favorite humans tonight. All right, as you come down onto your back, knees bent, feet wide, knees together. We're going to come into constructive rest pose to get started this evening. So you're going to take your hands up to the sky, crisscross your arms, bend your elbows, and let those hands fall around your outer shoulders. And let's take a big full inhale here. Fill up. And open your mouth and let it go. And I want you to take a few breaths like that as we settle in tonight. Maybe a breath releasing any frustration from your day. Again, maybe, as I said, not necessarily forcing it out and needing to ignore it, but creating space around it. An acknowledgement that that emotion of frustration is there with you. Maybe a breath creating space and release around a disappointment of the day. Maybe a breath of release around something stressful or something that felt overwhelming or out of control. A breath of release and space around something that felt maybe emotional or just really confusing. And maybe a breath of release and space around whatever it is that you're finding here as you find stillness that is being carried within you that feels a little heavy. And then let's take your hands up to the sky. We're going to recross those arms with the other arm closest to your chin. So just bend those elbows. Hands settle down around the outer shoulders and just settle right back in. Now, if you feel like You are just carrying a lot within your space tonight. Maybe you continue those open mouth exhales of release until you feel ready to let that breath settle in and out through the nose. Holding space for whatever you find within yourself this evening. Each and every breath like a rinsing out of that internal space. Let's take 2 more really full breaths here. And then let's take your arms and reach them overhead toward the back of your space. Put a soft bend in the elbows so those arms can just release and relax into the ground. And you might even bend them toward a goalpost. Just let them be heavy, somewhere on the ground above your shoulders. We're going to keep that left foot rooted and grounded as it is. And we're going to start to exhale, bring your right knee into your chest. And as you inhale, we're going to kick that right leg out to straight, hovering above the ground. As you exhale, we're going to take that right foot to the sky. If this is new, don't worry, it'll be established and then repeated. And then inhale, leg lowers to hover. Okay, so that's the pattern. Exhale, knee comes in. Inhale, kick away to hover. Exhale to the sky. And inhale to lower. Now, sometimes we do things kind of robotically and controlled. Tonight, I want you to let this get super, super fluid. So maybe it matches up with the breath. Maybe it starts to go a little faster. And just feel sort of this almost dancer-like fluidity to the movement you're creating. So we're going to get into those hips to start here tonight. We'll do this side a couple rounds. The knee comes in and then the leg hovers over the floor and the foot goes to the sky and it lowers to hover. Especially if you've been sitting for a good chunk of the day, returning some blood flow and some life to your legs. We're going to go through this last round here. And then the next time you bend your knee into the chest, let's just pause. And then we're going to, without the use of your hands, start to create some really big circles with this right leg. So let's take it out to the right and then move it away from you and over toward that left leg. It might even cross over the left, back into the chest and out to the side. Try not to think about it too much. Just big, huge rotations of that right hip. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Just can your hip feel like it's moving in its full rotation? Let's reverse the direction of that circle. So you go over to the left, then away from you, out to the right and back in. We're going to do 2 more like that. And then the next time that right leg comes to cross over the left, you're going to let it cross like you're sitting in a chair. Let that leg completely relax onto the left leg. It'll probably be ready for that release. And anchoring into that right shoulder, we're going to take your knees to the left, maybe just about 50% of the way to the ground. Deep breath into that right waist and the hip. And we'll come back to center and take that right foot down to the ground. So that's the range of motion work we're going to establish for the second side. Everything's the same. We'll start with the knee coming in, left knee in on your exhale. Kick the leg away to hover as you inhale. Left foot to the sky as you exhale. Lower the leg as you inhale. Bring it in as you exhale. Kick away, inhale. Foot to the sky, bring it up. And lower, inhale. All right, so you're here for a period of time. Start to let that just get really fluid and easy. without tension or control. Inviting that life and movement without any stagnation, without any stuck spots. Back into the hip. Remember, it doesn't have to necessarily match up with the breath. Just keep the breath flowing. I'm going to finish this next round. And as you bring that left knee into your chest, pause. We'll start the circle. So left knee goes out to the left, and then leg goes away from you, over toward the right and back in. Each round, see if like a little bit of WD-40 in that hip joint. If it can get a little less squeaky, a little less clunky. And also just notice for yourself if you have one hip that kind of resists this range of motion more than the other, feels clunkier than the other. And then let's reverse the direction of that circle. And then the next time you cross that left leg over the right, so let it settle like you're crossing your legs in a chair. Root into that left shoulder. And knees go about halfway toward the ground to the right. Deep, expansive breaths in the belly, the low back. And then let's bring those knees back to center. Uncross the leg, left foot to the ground. And let's bring your knees into your chest. Reach down, hold on to shins or ankles or thighs or maybe feet, some of you. Let's pull the chin up toward your knees, teeny tiny little ball of yourself. And let's start to rock and roll up and down your spine to make your way up and over into your table pose. If you joined us after I said good evening, welcome everyone. So glad to have you here. As you come into your table pose, if you do have a couple blocks tonight, I'm going to invite you to grab those, put them on their low side, and put them right underneath your hands. So blocks and hands shoulder width apart. A little lifted cow and cat tonight. So inhale, belly down, heart and head up. And then exhale, hollow the belly, round the spine. Let your head fall forward. Let's take a couple rounds there. Belly drops. Spine rounds. See if you can create that sense of fluidity and freedom here as well. We're just going to kind of link that into our practice tonight. I want you to see, especially if you're feeling a little weighed down, a little stuck in life right now, see if you can at least infuse a sense of freedom and fluidity and space into the movement tonight. All right, we're going to take one more cat here. Really round and dome that back. And then inhale, let's come into your table shape. Let's take your right leg, stretch it back behind you, and maybe lift it a little higher than the hips. You actually come into extension. And then exhale, knee to nose, round your spine. Inhale, kick it back. Maybe lift it up a bit. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, kick it back. We're going to take one more like that. We'll kick it back one more time. This time as you bring it in, we're going to bring your right knee outside your right arm and place the foot down. So it'll be easier with those blocks beneath your hands. So once you're here, let's take your right hand lifted up toward the sky. Left hand on block or floor. Just breathe into the left low belly. Breathe into the front of that left hip. Let that left shoulder glide down the back. And then we're going to bring your right hand down inside that right leg, just where it started. All I want you to do is round your spine like cat and let your head completely fall. Just let the head drop. Couple big breaths here into wherever you feel sensation. And then draw the heart forward, the head forward, and let's sneak that right leg back into your table. Let's get that other side. Left leg stretches back. Maybe a little of extension, so coming higher than the hip. Exhale, round the spine, bring it in. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, bring it in. One more time like that. Bring it in. We'll kick it back one more time, and then this time as it comes in, left knee outside the left arm. One big step or a bunch of little ones, whatever you need. Left foot outside the left hand. Right hand's going to stay grounded, left hand to the sky. Gaze could be down, sideways, or up, whatever feels nice in the neck this evening. Right shoulder gliding down the back. And then left hand comes down to the inside of that left foot. Push the ground or the blocks away. Dome. Let your head completely fall. Sometimes this gets randomly intense sensation-wise in the front of your right thigh, the front of the hip. Sometimes it's along the spine, just wherever you feel that sensation, find breath. Let's draw the heart and the head forward, sneak that left leg back, boop, into table. If you added those blocks in, go ahead and ditch them now. And let's set your hands about shoulder width apart, index fingers parallel to one another. All of your knuckles grounding into the floor like you're trying to palm a basketball. I give the analogy, but I can't do it. And you never want to see me with a basketball. It's not pretty. Tuck your toes under, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let those feet walk back or walk in, walk out, maybe until you find just the right spacing of your feet for your hips this evening. Let's take a little shift of weight right to left. The smallest little tail wag. Let your head hang heavily between your arms, especially if you spent a lot of time in your head today, whether that was ruminating on things or that was working in a really intense way. Notice how you hold your head after a day spent in your mind. Likely you'll need to let it release a little bit. And then let's roll up onto the balls of the feet and the tippy toes, and we're just going to start to stroll your way forward, ending up in your forward fold near the top of your mat. Let's take a halfway lift, fingers on shins or ground, let the back of the neck lengthen. And then as you exhale, let's just fold and release over your legs. Let those arms dangle, let the body drape. Bend your knees quite a bit, and let's roll up inch by inch by inch, all the way to standing. Take a big shrug of those shoulders up, back, and down. As you come to standing, let your palms turn forward, thumbs turn out, and let your head just stack right on top of the platform of your body. Inhale here. And exhale here. As you inhale, we'll take your two hands up to the sky. And exhale, let's fold forward. Fingers on ground or shins, halfway lift. And then as you exhale, we'll fold and step your left leg back. We'll keep that back knee and back heel off the ground. We're going to come up into your crescent lunge. Hands to the sky if that feels okay in your shoulders tonight. And just lunge down into that front leg. Let the eyes get steady. And then bring that back heel down to the floor. Toes spin out. We'll open the shoulders toward the long edge of the mat for warrior two. Right hand forward, left hand back. And again, eyes steady, breath steady. Couple breaths here. If you need a place to settle the eyes, let them settle right down that front middle finger. With your next inhale, left hand down the back leg, right hand toward the sky. Reverse. We're here for 3 breaths. And then as you exhale, hands around your front foot, come onto the ball of that back foot, and let's step it back into plank. Full breath here. Let those legs activate and help hold the body. Let's bring those knees down to the floor. As you exhale, elbows point straight back as you lower toward the floor. Inhale, untuck your toes, lift heart, head, and shoulders, baby cobra. Hands are barely holding any weight. And let's engage your quads here so those legs feel firm and active. Kneecaps are lifted off the ground. And then exhale, forehead toward the ground. Let's press into hands and knees. Come on up, table. Tuck your toes and downward facing dog. When you're ready, let's lift your left leg toward the ceiling, any amount off the ground. And then with a big exhale, bring that left foot forward between your hands. So we'll come up to that crescent lunge, back knee, back heel off the ground. Lunge into that front leg, let your eyeballs get steady, let your breath get steady. 3 breaths. And we'll drop that back heel. Open your shoulders toward the long edge of the mat. Left hand forward, right hand back. Warrior two. 3 breaths. With your next inhale, we'll reverse. Right hand down the back leg, left hand up. 3 breaths. And with your next exhale, hands around your front foot. Back heel lifts. We'll step right foot forward next to left foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise up, reach up, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Same sequence, less holding. 1 movement, 1 breath. Inhale, hands go upwards. Exhale, let's fold. Halfway lift, breathing in. Exhale, fold. And we'll step your right leg back. Your inhale will bring you into your crescent lunge. Exhale will bring you into your warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And hands down around your front foot as you exhale. Slow it down at any point. Inhale, we'll go back to plank. Knees up or down. Elbows point straight back. Chaturanga. You can always meet us in downward facing dog. On the ground there. Untuck those toes. Engage the legs. Baby cobra. Back on down. Inhaling table or plank. Exhaling downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, step it through. Crescent with your breath in. Warrior two, breath out. Inhale, reverse. Hands down as you exhale, coming onto the ball of the back foot. And we step forward, feet together. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Sit on up into chair. Hands at heart or hands reaching toward the sky, up to you. Let's shift into your right foot. Minimal chair tonight. You're welcome. It's now officially Happy Monday. Come up standing on that right foot, left knee into your chest. And start to take that left leg over toward the left any amount. Not so much that the body starts to rotate. Keep the body in Tadasana and just let that left leg come out to the left. Bring it back through center and any amount over toward the right. Back over to the left. Back over to the right. Bring it back to center. Bring the knee a little closer to the chest. And then bend your right knee and sit down into chair. Do that same thing on the other side. So over into that left foot, right knee comes up. When you feel steady, let that right knee start to go rightward. Let it go leftward. Try to stabilize the standing half of your body, that left side. Back out to the right. Over to the left. Back to center, squeeze it up toward the chest. One more moment. And then back down you go into chair. As you find your chair, let's fold over your legs. Let the belly find the thighs. We're going to swing your arms back behind you and either just fist the hands or clasp the thumbs or clasp all of the fingers and let those arms fall overhead. Full, complete release of your head. Let that jaw move a little side to side. And then release those arms toward the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, and let's make our way back to downward facing dog. So you might plant the hands and step to plank, rolling through what we call the vinyasa. We've done it. I'll guide you through it. If you're not into it, down dog is your option. So knees up or down, elbows point straight back as you lower. Inhale into that little baby cobra shape. If you're ready to come up higher, come up higher. Back to the belly. And up and back you go. Downward facing dog. Now, as you find that down dog, we're going to take your right leg any amount up toward the sky. And I want you to keep your body in down dog. You're going to bend your right knee. Bring your right knee in toward your chest, but don't move your shoulders forward. Right knee out to the side. Right knee points back behind you, and then bring it back in. So it's a big circle. Forward, out, back, and in. Forward, out, back, and in. Now this time as you bring it forward, let your shoulders come over your wrists. Step that right foot in between your hands, and let's come on up into your lunge. As you come up into your lunge, you're going to turn your palms out, crisscross your wrists, and give yourself a high five. You can either just press the palms or you can clasp your hands. And we're going to bend the elbows out toward the side. Here, I'll turn so you can see. Just kind of like that. Some of you, those hands will really easily come behind the head. Some of you, they'll stay over the head. Try not to push it, force it. Never a good idea. And then let's release those hands as you drop your back heel to the ground. We'll open once again into that warrior two shape. Let's reach way forward with that right hand. And let your right elbow come down to your right thigh. Left hand up to the sky. Now as you're left hand reaches up. Let's start to bend your left elbow toward your left waist and maybe slightly back behind it. And then let's straighten your left arm up, take it forward, and let it drop down a little back. So we're going to find one of those kind of fluid movements again. Hand goes down and forward, up, bend the elbow into your waist, and then repeat. Forward, up, down, and back, kind of like a roller coaster. And then forward, up, bend the elbow, pull back. How about we do that 2 more times? Just make it your own, right? This isn't choreography. Working to get into that range of motion of the shoulder, especially if it's been just kind of stuck today. And then let's take that arm all the way down and back this time, bringing yourself back up into warrior 2. Let's bring your hands to your heart and turn all 10 toes to face the long edge of your mat, feet parallel to start. Then we're going to pivot your heels in, toes out, bend your knees, sit down into horse or goddess. You get to choose what you are. Hands up to the sky. We're going to keep getting into those shoulders while we also get into the hips, the best kind of multitasking. Bend those elbows out to the sides. And then keeping those elbows bent, bring those arms forward. Hands might touch, your whole forearm might touch. And then try to keep them together. Elbows go up. The arms will start to unzip or apart and take those elbows back out to the sides. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 there. Bring it in, up, out, and down. In, up, out, and down. Try not to think about it too much. You're just going to hit rewind. So hands come together behind your head, then elbows come together down into your chest, and then open it up. You've got 2 there. Hands back, elbows in and down, open, back, in, and down. Hands settle right at your heart. Sit into that horse shape a tiny bit more. With a smile, maybe. Straighten your legs, parallel your feet. And let's fold. Hands on hips, bowing over those legs, head toward the floor. And let those arms release. Head dangling, arms dangling, spine released. If it feels nice to have hands on ground, you can. If it feels nice to take hands to your outer ankles or shins, also a good option. Just letting those legs release after that period of intensity and letting the head, neck, and jaw be completely free and easy. And then hands below shoulders, let's push the ground away. Feel the connection of both of your feet, even connection, inner and outer edges, front and back. Sneak your hands to your hips and come all the way up to standing. Right toes turn forward. Warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, hands to the floor. Come to the ball of that back foot. Vinyasa, down dog, or bonus option, child's pose. Knees wide, feet together. Movement or stillness, activity or ease. You have 5 breaths. Observe what you are carrying with you tonight. I often think of those things that I'm carrying with me as like the colored lenses through which I'm looking at life. So what is coloring or clouding up your space this evening? Good and bad, positive and negative. And can you create space for it? All right, if you migrated to the bonus option of child's pose, back you go, downward facing dog. Left foot to the sky. You're going to keep your body in down dog, bend your left knee. Let that left knee come in toward the chest. out toward the left and point it back behind you. You're going to do a couple of these. So forward, out, back, and in. Try to think of it less mechanically and just get into that range of movement. How does your body move? How can it move? And then the next time that knee comes forward, let the shoulders come over the wrist, step that left foot forward, and up we come, crescent lunge. As those hands go skyward, let the palms turn out. See if you can remember which elbow was, or which wrist was in front last time. Try to do the other one. Press the palms into each other and bend your elbows out to the left and the right. Let the base of the neck soften. And then we're going to release left hand forward, right hand back as you bring that back heel down to the floor. Left hand reaches way forward, left elbow, left thigh, right hand to the sky. And then start to bend that right elbow in and maybe a little bit back behind you. And then hand and arm goes up, forward, down and back. And then back, forward, up, and bend that elbow. A couple times there. Kind of just get really fluid. Can there be sort of a lack of stagnation, a lack of stuckness in the mobility of that shoulder? And if somewhere along the way there you get intrigued or inspired to explore range, it's a practice of exploration. Let's take one more there. And then as that arm goes down and back this time, let it bring you up to warrior two. I'm not going to make you repeat that horse stuff. Right hand down the back leg, left hand up and back. And hands come down around your front foot. Ball of the back foot lifts. And let's step back. Downward facing dog. So again, option to stay, option to drop those knees into child's pose, option to roll forward, plank. To take that vinyasa, lowering toward the belly as you exhale. Inhaling into your back bend, any height. Back to the belly as you exhale. Up through table or plank on your inhale. And downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. And foot between your hands. Just a simple step forward. Let's come up into that crescent lunge. Find the connection of that right foot to the ground. We're going to bring your left knee all the way up into your chest. Let's take that left knee out toward the left. Place that foot on thigh, calf, or ankle for your tree pose. Hands can be on hips, at heart, or reaching skyward. Firm that outer right hip in. Press the left foot into the inner right thigh or right calf or wherever the foot is. And then we're going to turn that left knee forward, bring it back up to the chest. Start to move that left leg over toward the right. Make sure your pelvis, your hips are facing forward, so they're not rotating toward the right. Start to bend that right knee and sit down into your eagle legs. So that full cross of the legs. You can stay here just as you are, or bend your elbows out into that goalpost shape. With left leg on top, you'll go left arm on bottom for either the hug that we started class with, or pressing the back of the hands or your palms into one another. You've got 5 more breaths here. If you step out or if you're just done, you can come to our standing posture at the top of the mat, Tadasana. Those of you wanting more challenge this evening, start to take elbows toward your knees. Wherever you're at, Breathe into the spaces that need breathing into. And when you're ready, unwind everything. Left foot to the ground. Hands beside you, palms forward, thumbs out. Close your eyes and just feel that stack of your body. Ankle bones, below the middle of your thigh bone, your hip, below the middle of your shoulder, the back of your earlobe, the crown of your head. Let's take your right ear, drop it toward your right shoulder. As you do that, reach down toward the ground through those left fingertips just a little bit more. Bring your head back up to center. Left ear, left shoulder. Reach down through your right fingertips a little more. Head back to center. Inhale, 2 hands up to the sky. And exhale, let's fold. Halfway lift. Folding with your exhale, and we're going to make your way back to downward facing dog. You might flow through one of those vinyasas. You might just walk those feet back into downward facing dog. Find your breath. When you're ready, left leg lifts. High musketeer. And foot forward between your hands. We'll come up to that crescent lunge. Feel that connection of your left foot into the ground. And we'll come up to standing on that left foot. Right knee comes into your chest. When you feel steady and ready for it, right knee goes toward the right. Stabilize the foundation, the trunk, so you're not rotating with that right leg. And let's place your right foot on inner left thigh or inner left calf for tree pose. Hands could be on hips. They could be at heart. It could be reaching towards the sky. When you're ready, right knee turns forward. Release the foot off the inner leg. Stabilizing your standing leg and that standing side of the body. Start to move that right leg across toward the left. Start to bend that left knee. Let that right leg come into that chair shape or the cross-legged shape in your chair. Eagle legs. You can stay there with just the legs or bend your arms into that goalpost shape. Right arm on bottom as those elbows cross for the hug, the press of the hands, or the palms. Now we've got 5 breaths remaining. We are once again meeting up in your Tadasana, that standing posture at the front of the mat. So when it's there, when you need it, it's there. If you're happy here, stay. If you want more, elbows start to come down to knees. If it's eagle pose, does it count as chair? I vote no. Right foot to the ground. Tadasana, hands by your sides, palms open, thumbs out. Eyes closed or gaze dropped. Feel your breath. And just feel that sense of life within you, right? Can you feel your pulse? Can you feel a sense of pulse, not just around your heart, but maybe throughout your body? Maybe a sense of energetic movement or heat. Do you feel maybe a little more aware of your physical body or something that's existing inside in your emotional or mental space? After all, this is just a practice of developing a deeper relationship with ourselves, a deeper understanding and awareness of ourselves. Hands to the sky as you breathe in. And fold forward as you breathe out. Halfway lift, inhale. Let's fold, exhale. And let's make your way back. Final vinyasa, final transition back to your downward facing dog. So for this next pose, I'm going to give you two options. It's the pigeon buffet. So those of you that know pigeon and love pigeon, you can just head into it, right leg forward. Those of you that are unsure or might want another option, here come the options, the instructions, all right? So right knee is going to come toward your right wrist. And you want, as you put that leg down, to be able to get onto the outside of the calf and the shin, as opposed to being on top of the shin. You want to be on the outside of it. That left leg is going to be straight back behind you. And your right knee is going to be more rightward than the right side of your body. So you can let it come out to the right just a bit. My cat is hogging my blanket right now. So I'm going to use a block, like a blanket. So if you have a blanket and your right hip's not quite comfortable on the ground, you could place that blanket underneath your hips. So you've got a little bit of boost, and that takes the intensity out of that right hip. All right. I've got one more option for you that's not pigeon. So if you're like, oh no, got you, just a second. So once you're comfortable in pigeon, if it feels nice, you can start to fold forward and get all cozy and delicious here. Those of you that are like, oh no, you're going to come down onto your back. Right ankle is going to find your left thigh, left knee is bent, and we'll come into thread the needle. So legs will come toward you and you can hold left thigh or left shin. So wherever you're at, start to get into an option. For the sake of giving you tools in your library of tools, since I'm demoing things, I'm going to give you one more option. If you're near a wall or a couch or a chair or a table, that thread the needle option is really nice to do with that left foot on the wall, because then you don't have to hold your legs. And you can amp up the intensity by bringing your hips closer to the wall. All right, you've got several more breaths wherever you're at. I will shut up. Enjoy your space, enjoy your breath. Let's take about 3 more breaths wherever you're at. Where can there be a little more space, a little more release? Now, those of you that are in thread the needle, either with the wall or without, you just get to stay on your back. It's a simple switch to the other side. And you can take that at your own pace. Those of you that are in pigeon, start to press the ground away. Ease yourself back into either a table shape or a down dog shape, whatever makes the most sense in your body. Take the time and the transition that you need, but when you're ready, left leg into that externally rotated, so knee turned out shape, whether that's thread the needle or it's pigeon pose. Do what you need to do to get comfortable here. Add props under that left thigh and the pelvis and the hips if that's helpful. Use a wall to hold your legs if that's helpful. But can the sensations of your posture be mild enough that you have that extra space to observe, to cultivate more space? Let's take a few more breaths here on this side. And then if you are in pigeon, you're going to start to press the ground away. Ease yourself back to down dog. And then those of you that are on your back already for thread the needle, we're coming to you, so don't move. So when you're ready, back you go. Those of you in your down dog shape, find your transition down onto your back. And you might bring cozies with you. So if you have a blanket, grab it. If you've got a sweatshirt, grab it. If you've got something to cover your eyes, grab it. And let's come on down. So as you come on down, let's go knees and feet hip width apart. Arms alongside your body, reaching for the heels. And then we're going to bend your elbows. Point your fingers toward the sky. Call these T-Rex hands. You can make little T-Rex claws if you want. Press those outer shoulders and upper arms down into the floor. And then press into your feet. And let's elevate your hips. Bridge pose. Feel the feet rooting into the floor and almost like you're trying to slide those heels towards your bum. Feel the strength and the power of your legs. Feel the fullness of your breath in your belly. And then let those hips come on down. Let your hands just release down onto your abdomen. Let those feet move out and the knees fall in. Big inhale into your hands. Open your mouth. Softly let it go. One more time, breathing in. And letting it go. And then let's open your arms out to a T shape. Separate the knees and then let both knees fall to the right. So you've got two separate independent V's of your legs here. Those of you who want a little more outer hip release, you might tuck your right foot just above the left knee there. If that starts to create any low back, hip, knee, or ankle pain, it's not worth it. Just let it go. And then release the latched ankle if you have it. Knees up and to the left. Maybe left ankle just above that right knee. One more full breath here. Releasing the ankle latch if you have it, knees to center. And then let's bring those knees in and wide. Hands are going to hold on to the backs of your knees, your ankles, or your feet for a final happy baby. And if it maybe feels a little bit more like a happy Monday now, maybe you rock a little bit side to side in your happy baby shape. Maybe you blow raspberries. Just channel your inner child. And then notice in your body if you need any other shape or movement, and take some time for whatever you notice. But when you're ready, we're going to find our Shavasana shape. I invite you to get cozy. Put on your flannel, put on your hoodie, put on your cozy socks. Maybe you Shavasana burrito and wrap yourself in. Another nice option is just to place a blanket kind of over the thighs and the pelvis, a sense of grounding, maybe a little bit over the abdomen, just a little bit of weight there. Maybe you dim the lights or cover your eyes. Because you've made it to this space, you've earned this, not just from your practice, but from living life and living your day. This is your moment to be still and at rest. So set yourself up for it. And then invite yourself to be here for and with yourself. Take a slightly deeper inhale and a slightly fuller exhale. And And take a few moments just to savor this space that you've created, right? Whatever you gave and gifted to yourself through your practice tonight. Just moments to savor. And as you feel ready to begin moving the body again, just easily and nurturingly move your way over to a side and up to a comfortable seat. No rush. And as you find that comfortable seat, your cat might demand your attention. Bring your palms together in front of your heart and let the heart lift to meet your thumbs. Let your thumbs settle right on your sternum there. Setting your breath, your heart, and your mind for all that comes next for you, all that this week holds. Thank you all for being here together this evening. I appreciate practicing with all of you, even via a screen. Namaste. Ethan, I could hear your namaste. Thank you all so much for being here with us this evening, us community, us Musketeer, and Shanti, wherever she is. A couple quick things before you head off. We are launching something that I never thought would be a thing, but outdoor yoga in the winter. So we have our first class this Sunday at Korea. It's already fallen on a wait list, but the intention, if it goes well, it will, but if it goes well, is to do more. So that's look for that. I'm also meeting with Iola on Wednesday, so there should be some there as well. So look for that. I know that people are hungry to connect with people in real life again, so it's coming. And thank you to all of you who diligently and when you can support us financially for classes. The information about donating for classes in the chat. Venmo is at Thanks for Yoga. PayPal is yogaandbeerthanks@gmail.com. So thank you all for that. And let's see what we've got here. Namaste, Ethan. Glad you're here. Sarah, thank you so much. Glad you practiced with us tonight. Kendra, glad you could finally make it live. Heidi, thank you. Karen Elliott. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Lori, thank you. Enjoy the flannel for the rest of the night. Cheers, Jacob, to the first yoga of 2021. I love that. Jamie, I'm sorry about your hips. And Debbie, pigeon. I thought of you when we were doing pigeon, Debbie. Debbie, I look forward to having you join us when you can for outdoor yoga as well. And I appreciate you all being here. Thank you all so much. And I hope you have a lovely evening. Thank you, Mom. Bye, everyone. See you soon.